get into the title segment of today's show, and that is the one and only Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, guys. The Philadelphia Eagles had huge success in 2024 by winning the Super Bowl. Not only did they win the Super Bowl, they pretty much dominated the Super Bowl, pretty much dominated the whole NFL season from week 6 on. That's all we can talk about. It's Philadelphia Eagles, and by the way, some Philadelphia Eagles as well. They have clearly had one of the best rosters in 2024 from top to bottom. From the left tackle to the quarterback to the running backs to receivers to linebackers to backup kicker, they had the best guys. But guys, how can the Eagles repeat in 2025? How can the Philadelphia Eagles go out there and repeat the success that they had in 2024? Well, first thing they got to do, number one thing they got to do is they got to lock up some free key agents. They got some big key free agents coming up, two of them being Josh Sweat, Mekhi Becton, Milton Williams, and Zack Baun. They got those 4 big names right there, and they need to lock those guys up. As you guys know, the Philadelphia Eagles had one of the best defenses in the NFL this season. They had a dominant front 4. They had a dominant linebacking crew. They had an overachieving secondary, right? But what they need to do single-handedly is they need to bring back their linebacker. They need to bring back Zack Baun, plain and simple. He was the best linebacker in the NFL, hands down. He was so great because of Josh Sweat. Let's not get that twisted. But Zack Baun was the man, the myth, the legend like himself. Zack Baun came out and single-handedly destroyed a lot of people out there, right? He single-handedly said, "Come here, little boy, sit back down because I'm your daddy now," right? So that's the first thing that they got to do is they got to sign Zach. Number 2, yes, they need offensive linemen. Yes, you need a little bit of this. Yes, you need a little bit of that. But the reason why Zach had so much success is the front 4 up front. Josh Sweat had a Super Bowl of a lifetime. Josh Sweat was the man, the myth, the legend. Every time you looked up, Josh Sweat was back out there doing his thing. So if they want to bring back Zach, they need to bring back Josh Sweat as well, right? Yes, you can replace some linemen. Yes, you can do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? But Zack Baun and Josh Sweat are the 2 key acquisitions that they need to do this offseason on their own team to have a chance to repeat in 2025. Next up is the old offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is gone. Kellen Moore's down there in the Big Easy, baby. He's sitting there in NOLA getting those voodoo dolls and hitting Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the boys. Kellen Moore is gone. And the last time the Philadelphia Eagles had a nice little Super Bowl run and they lost their offensive coordinator, they really didn't quite bounce back the following season. So they need to hire and fill the offensive coordinator perfectly. They need to find somebody that will feed Saquon Barkley, and then they need to find another person that is going to play into Jalen Hurts' success, or sorry, his strengths. If they're able to find that guy, if they're able to find that offensive coordinator that understands that Saquon Barkley only has probably a couple years left in him, right? Like when I say a couple years, I mean like the man, the myth, the legend, the best guy on the field. Give him the ball and let him run for 7 yards. He only has a couple years left in him. Let's just be flat out honest. So use Saquon Barkley and play into Jalen Hurts' strengths. That is how the Philadelphia Eagles can repeat then 2025. Josh Sweat, Zack Baun, and find a competent offensive coordinator. And the third key is do not let Nick Sirianni get full of himself. Do not let Nick Sirianni get full of himself, because every time we see a little bit of success out of the Philadelphia Eagles, every time we see them starting to little cream to rise to the top, Nick Sirianni gets full of himself. Nick Sirianni thinks like, hey, my shit doesn't stink. Your fans stink. You stink. This stinks. Get me out of here, because he's like, I'm great. So contain Nick Sirianni, offensive coordinator, and sign some couple free key agents there, or your key free agents, I should say. So guys, with that being said, let's jump over into the comments. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? How can the Philadelphia Eagles legitimately repeat in 2025? How can they repeat? And Old Man River says flat out, right off the bat, says there will be no repeat for the Philadelphia Eagles. No way, no how, there's going to be a repeat for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Old Man River, first of all,
skin pun. Get you some.
That's right. Old Man River is a Big Ten punny, and he's going to get you some. But the simple fact of the matter is, Old Man River, I think you might be right. I might think you might be right to the extent because we don't see a lot of NFC teams really repeating. We don't see a lot of NFC teams like, hey, you know what? We're on top. We are the dogs. And then they're just kind of like, what happened with ourselves? What we do with our hands? We don't know, right? So, as I do agree with you, Old Man River, that there will probably be no repeat in the NFC. There will probably be no repeat Super Bowl championships this year. We still got to ask the question because they do got a pretty damn good roster, right? They still got a pretty good roster. They still got Jalen Hurts. They still got Nick Sirianni. They still got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jalen freaking Hurts. Stop sleeping on that man. But stop sleeping on that man. My